Hey guys, Mobile Legends Quick Guide here and welcome back to another episode of Item Knowledge featuring the two most popular defensive items to counter magic damage heroes. Now what can these items do? What's the best condition to use and when should we buy them? So first, Radiant Armor. When we get hit by any type of magic damage including damage from skills, basic attacks, spells, or even item damage, we'll gain a fixed amount of magic defense stacking up to 6 stacks for 5 seconds. And the magic defense scales with level, so in the late game, we can get a massive total of 120 magic defense. For Athena's shield, when we get hit by magic damage, it will activate a shield that can reduce all incoming magic damage by 25% for 3 seconds, including the hit that triggers the shield. So it's really the best item to counter burst damage mages like Eudora, Vale, Kadita, and so on. But it isn't really ideal to counter poke damage heroes because they can easily trigger the shield with just a very small amount of magic damage that isn't even worth reducing with Athena's shield passive. So the best item to counter poke magic damage heroes is none other than Radiant Armor because we can easily build up the stacks just by taking small amounts of poke damage from enemies like Cyclops, Valir, Chusin, or even poke damage from Glowing One and so on. But here's the thing, Radiant is good for poke damage but sometimes, mark my words, sometimes it can be a bad item for burst poke damage combos. Burst poke damage is a skill that deals a lot of poke damage in just a few seconds to deal tons of massive damage, and the total damage can be even more massive than the burst damage kills. For example, Chang'e's ultimate, Gord's full combo, Kimi's attack combo, and so on. In those situations, Radiant might fall off because its bonus defense passive can only be triggered every 0.4 seconds, which takes around 2.4 seconds to at least reach full stacks. And we definitely won't dare to stay inside those skills for 2.4 seconds, right? But if we get crowd controlled, for example by Franco's ultimate while getting hit by Nathan's Inspire, or if we cannot even move inside Guinevere's ultimate, then at this point, Athena's might be better because Athena's shield can last for 3 seconds. For example, Zilong here has Radiant, and when a full item Chang'e hits him with her ultimate, he receives 9,259 total damage. But with Athena's shield, he can reduce the damage to 8,761. And Zilong here is level 14, which means he gets more magic defense through Radiant, but it still cannot beat Athena's shield. That's why I said sometimes, when we cannot move and get hit by a bunch of poke damage, Athena's might be the one that's able to save us. Now, can we combine these items? Of course, but only under certain conditions when we really need magic defense items. For example, when the enemies have so many magic damage heroes. For me, if they have at least 3 magic damage heroes excluding the support, then these 2 items are a must. Now let's say I'm a tank and facing this draft. Joy as jungler, Chang'e mid, Harriet gold lane, Ruby XP, and Matilda roam. In this case, I'll be building tough boots first of course, Radiant next since I'm sure they cannot burst me yet, then Dominance to cut Ruby's spellfam, Matilda's, Joy's, and Harriet's shield, and then Athena's so they cannot burst me down. The rest it's situational. We can also swap Athena's build order with Radiant in case the enemies love to gank, commit on, and burst a tank, which rarely happens. But if that really happens, then early Athena's might be better, so it really depends on the situation. And last thing, if you're a magic damage dealer, you can try to poke enemies that have Athena's to bait the shield first, then after the shield is gone, it's the perfect time to burst them. And that's all for today's video, thanks for watching and see you around.